Welcome to the ISO on the Gonzaga Nation Media Network. Game day for Gonzaga. That means a preview with someone connected to the opposing program. Today, we're lucky enough to have the head coach of Kent State joining us, Coach Rob Senderoff. Coach, thanks a lot for joining. I appreciate the time.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate you having me. Thank you.
Well, Coach, you guys are one of those, and I hate the term mid-major term, and you probably hate it as well. But you guys have been one of those programs that has been really good for quite some time. Give us a little bit about the background of the program over the last few years as you guys continue to build a really good program, a program that's not afraid to go play power conference teams, win on the road at power conference venues, and try to continue to make NCAA tournament appearances.
Yeah. Well, first, for us, I wear that badge pretty proudly. We are a mid-major program. We flew commercial out here to Spokane from Cleveland. So that's what we are. But we've also, like you mentioned, we've had a lot of success. We try to be a tough, hard-nosed team. These games are tremendous opportunities for us and our players and our entire program. We don't get many of these chances, and we appreciate the opportunity. I appreciate Coach Few being willing to play us. We tried this year because we have some returning guys who were good players in our conference last year, and we won 23 games last year. So we tried to get as many, high profile games as possible. And the two schools that were willing to play us were Gonzaga and Houston. And, we appreciate the opportunity to be out here for sure.
Two great programs to play against, Gonzaga and Houston, but they're different programs. Kelvin Sampson has maybe the best defensive team program in the country. You guys played it close. You lost, I believe it was 49-44. Gonzaga's had some struggles defensively this year, but they're still pretty dang good on offense. Give us a little bit about that Houston game and then what you expect from Gonzaga.
Yeah. I couldn't agree more with you with what you said about Houston. And, they pride themselves defensively. I actually worked for Coach Sampson when he was at Indiana. So I was familiar with that and how they played. Gonzaga, I've been really impressed actually with how well, they've defended in these games. Obviously, an elite offensive team, the best in the country, the fastest tempo in the country. They're shooting the ball incredibly well. But in watching the film, I've been impressed with how they've guarded and how their length has made it difficult for teams to score, against them as well.
You mentioned an experienced ball club that you have, and I think that's been one of the reasons why there's so much parity in college basketball this year is with the extra COVID year, with the transfer portal allowing guys to move a little bit more freely as players. It's allowing teams to get older in a hurry. Do you like or dislike what you're seeing from college basketball as a whole this year?
Yeah, I mean, for us, this season, I have my starting backcourt are both fifth-year players. Both played last year at Kent. One's the returning player of the year in the league. The other's back-to-back on the all-defensive team in the conference, Malik Jacobs and Sincere Carey. And then we brought in a sixth-year transfer from Ball State who played in our conference, who's our starting four-man, Myron Thomas. So we certainly are, like you mentioned, a lot of teams have the ability to get old quick. We were fortunate that, our two best players from last year's team wanted to come back for their last year of playing. And we were able to add an experienced, quality player in Myron. So, our other guard, Giovanni Santiago, is in his fourth year of college. Although he's a junior and he's been with Kent the entire time, so he sort of knows how we play. We do start, a sophomore center who didn't play much last year for us. But, yeah, I think what you said is really true. There's a lot of parity, and I do think teams being able to get old has created some of that for sure.
Give us a little bit about your Player of the Year candidate in your league, Sincere Carey. You look at his numbers; they're pretty good. You guys have a high usage rate, so you put him in a lot of scoring and playmaking opportunities, from what I can tell. What is his biggest strength and advantage for you guys?
Yeah, honestly, to me, his biggest strength is that he's a two-way player. He's as good a defensive player as he is offensive player. So against Houston, and they have a swarming defense. He really struggled, and he shot 2 for 22, which it's almost unheard of. But he also kept Marcus Sasser to 5 for 16 shooting, who's a All American, and Sincere had 8 steals in the game, which is the second most steals in school history, and he did it against NBA type guards at Houston. So he's an elite competitor. He can score in a variety of ways. He can shoot the three. He can get into the paint. We do use him off a lot of handoffs and ball screens. And we try to play fast too. And, our fast is different than Gonzaga's fast, but we try to get out in transition and give him as many opportunities because we play with 3 guards for the most part. We try to give our guards as many opportunities as possible to get out in transition. So, we're not quite used to the tempo we're going to play against tomorrow. That's my biggest fear, is just how quickly Gonzaga gets up the floor on offense. But we also are not, the score against Houston would lead you to believe it was a half court game, but it was actually the most possessions in a game that Houston played in all year. And I think it's the third most possessions we've played in all year. So we were playing fast. Neither of us could score. So I give a credit to their defense, and I'd like to say our defense, because we created 23 turnovers in that game. And I think Houston's averaging about 8 in their games outside of us. So that's going to be key for us tomorrow to have an opportunity to stay in this game. We're going to have to do a great job creating turnovers. And if we can't do that against Gonzaga because of how well they shoot it and how skilled they are, and like I said, how fast they play, it's going to be tough for us. But if we can create some turnovers with our defense, maybe we can get out, score some in transition, and hopefully try to make them play in the half court against us.
Well, Coach, I appreciate the time. I know after Gonzaga lost to Baylor, and then watching some of the clips of you guys early in this season, they're going to be ready to play, but you guys are super talented. Should be a fun one. I look forward to calling it on the local TV broadcast, and best of luck tomorrow, but not too much luck, but best of luck the rest of the year.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I understand. And like I said, it's for us, this is an honor to get an opportunity to be out here, and we appreciate it. And, my first time out to Spokane. So I'm excited for what I've heard is the best venue in college basketball. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Awesome. Well, thanks again. Take care. Best of luck the rest of the way.